Welcome to Athletes Unplugged, sponsored by Geico. I'm Savanna Collins, joined by Morgan Hentz. We've had 5 episodes this season, and we couldn't forget about the libero position.
Look at Hentz, just all-out dive. Incredible up. Watch the effort. Goes about 3 body lengths to get that ball up.
So playing and being a libero, what does it take to be that role on the court?
I guess if I had to pick one word to kind of describe the role, I would say grit or scrap. You just have to really be gritty and scrappy, and I think it's all about heart and effort in that position, which is something you can always control, and I really like that about that role.
Do you have to have a little bit of a disregard for yourself? I'm just gonna run into the LED board or lay out.
I've talked to people and they're like, the libero position, you just gotta be crazy. You just gotta be willing to throw your body everywhere. And when you're growing up, you learn the ways to protect your body and to dive in the correct way. And then sometimes it's gonna be weird sometimes. As long as the ball is up, it's up. That's your goal at the position. And forcing yourself to go, I think, is a huge part. I mean, sometimes you look at a ball and you're like, that's really far away, or that's weird, that's not mine. And I think, you're always on the defensive side in the back row. You never get a chance to be in the front row and take some swings. So I kind of think of okay, I'm gonna be offensive on defense. I'm gonna be aggressive and go for it and attack the ball. And I like thinking about defense in that way.
I have never heard that approach for it before. I love that. So tomato, libero? Which one is it for you? I feel like everybody has one correct answer.
Yeah, I always say libero.
Okay.
That's what I heard growing up, but I've heard people say bro, lib, they do their little shortenings of it. But yeah, I like libero, but I think it's just a preference for everybody.
So which is your favorite or most rewarding in a game? A pancake, a run through, or just a really hard hit ball that you get to and get up?
Definitely the last one. A really hard hit ball that you just pop up. It probably should have sprayed off your arms, but somehow you kept it in play. I think that's definitely my favorite.
So being a rookie, can you tell me a little bit about kind of what that transition has been like for you? Obviously, everybody knows Hentzville from college. Do you feel like you've been able to bring that mentality with you as a pro, or have you maybe had to switch things up a little bit? What sticks?
Yeah, I feel there are definitely things that I've had to adapt to. One of the first things is just the Mikasa ball in general. It actually moves a bit differently than the ball that's used in college. And I feel like it's a server's ball where they can really whack it, hit it well, and get it to float and do weird things. And as a passer, you really have to track it longer and work on your angles and just following it into your arms. It's definitely different and something I have had to work on a lot. And also everyone in the professional world is really great.
Yeah.
So you have to expect you're not going to get an easy ball your way ever. You really have to be focused and really engaged throughout the entirety of a play and even in between points.
So now that you've been here these couple of weeks, who has been the person that you have loved defending? They maybe really challenge you, or they're just causing you to kind of stretch yourself as a libero?
Yeah, oh gosh, I feel like there's a list. I could just list off so many people. I feel first person that comes to mind is just Betty, because she's an extremely smart player, knows where to put it on the court. You can see her looking across the net and be oh, here's the open hole, I'm gonna put it right there.
Yeah.
But also Shayla did an amazing job of that too. She has such range, and usually when you talk about a hitter, oh, here's their power shot, they really like to go there. And for Shayla, she has so many different shots that she can hit. She can pretty much put it wherever she wants on the court. So that's something that's really hard to defend. And then all the middles here too, they get up so fast, they run a fast tempo, and you don't have much time to react to that. You just have to put yourself in a good spot and kind of rely that you put yourself in a good spot and then react from there. So I feel the list could go on and on there's just really smart hitters here, and that's always hard to defend because they see the court well.
Definitely. As a libero, you have to know the hitter tendencies, the setter tendencies. How do you get to a point where you start to develop maybe a little bit of a sixth sense? Where does instinct eventually start to kick in?
Yeah, definitely a little bit. I feel like it's every athlete's goal to feel in your flow, you know, where you're not thinking about it. And then there's other times where you just feel like you're overthinking everything. And I feel like that actually happens most of the time. And it's like how you handle that overthinking. Like, how can I get out of this rut? And then for me, that's always like talking through it with my teammates and just over communicating. There's no such thing as over communicating in volleyball, but like the goal is always feel in your flow and like where you don't have to think about it and you're just kind of grooving on the court.
What would you say, not my words, to those who say, oh, the libero is the easiest position on the court? Or like a lot of times overseas, like it's also the least paid. So what do you have to say to like put some respect on our position, man?
You can say that, but I'd like to see you do it, you know? Like I'd like to see you in the role and doing it. And I think it's volleyball is a very selfless sport, you know? Like you can't rely on one person to do everything. And I feel like maybe the libero position is kind of the epitome of that. Like that first touch is so important in a game, whether it's on serve receive or defense. And if you don't have a great first touch, like you have no offense. And so I think, I mean, it would be ideal to get the position to like a little more respect in that way, and especially internationally. But I feel like there are some liberos out there who are like really amazing and are doing that already. So hopefully it just continues to get more recognition.
So for you, are you a diver or are you a roller? Which do you kind of tend to go to?
I would say more dive. I think if I ever roll, it's by accident. And I like you learn the technique growing up, but every time I got up, I would be so disoriented. I'd be like, where am I on the court right now?
How do you not get dizzy?
Yeah. So it's better for me to like dive and then just try to pop back up because I'll be like, I have no idea where I'm at on the court.
So if there's one thing that all liberos have in common, whether it's an attitude or an attribute or a skill, what's that one thing that you think everybody's got to have if you're really going to excel on that position?
I think it's just all out effort. Yeah, like we've talked about earlier, that you just have to force yourself to go for balls. And I think what's great about the libero position is that you can influence the players around you in so many ways to also continue to push themselves to go for balls. You know, like I love volleyball because you're constantly supporting the people around you. And like for a team to have great success, you have to find that chemistry and be able to work with everyone. And I think at the libero position, it's extremely important to be able to do that.
I feel like I got to look inside the mind of a libero today. Thank you, Morgan. I appreciate it.
Yeah, oh my gosh, no problem.